Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern Ned Reynolds, back in the studio. Wednesday morning, yesterday, Team USA did pretty well over in Italy in the Olympics, didn't they?
They picked up some medals, and that helps the overall medal count. USA has the 2 gold, which they, of course, won a couple days ago, 3 silver, and 2 bronze. And one of the silver medals came in curling, where the USA took second place, and that's pretty good. USA women's hockey, now they're not in the medal round yet. They're still in the prelim rounds. Now they'll go on to medal where it's one and done. My goodness, they played Canada yesterday, and Canada and the USA are arch rivals in women's hockey and in men's hockey for that matter. 5-0, the USA won it. The USA now has won all their matches in the prelim round and given up 1 goal. They've outscored the opposition 20-1. It's pretty much a gold medal winning team, although it's quite likely that they'll play Canada again in the medal round. Anyway, as we mentioned, the curling team took a silver, and the USA team is coming on. Now, there'll be more medals to be given out today, to be won today, I should say, and indeed the USA should certainly improve in their stock.
Well, go Team USA, and the competition's been great. Love watching it every single day, especially a bunch of sports I'll never watch for another 4 years again, but just to be reminded they exist every few years is nice. Tiger Woods' son is ready for college. He playing golf anywhere?
He will indeed. He's got a golf scholarship. This is very interesting, too, because he's going to Florida State, which is up in Tallahassee. Heretofore, Florida State's been a good golf team, not a great one. They may be the team to watch in college golf. Now, I don't know how well Charlie Woods is going to play in golf. He's done well as an amateur, but also on that Florida State team is the world's #1 amateur player. His name is Miles Russell. He's from Jacksonville, Florida. And now get this, he's the #1 amateur in the world. This includes the Asian players who are coming onto the tour and those from South America and Europe. Hey, the top amateur in the world playing for Florida State along with Charlie Woods, they may have a pretty good team. That may be the team to watch in college golf. Florida State Seminoles out of Tallahassee.
Are you surprised about that little trade yesterday?
Well, you have to understand the ego of professional athletes and
More
Justin
so pitchers.
Well, Justin Verlander. Well, come on, you guys won 3 Cy Young Awards.
Sure.
He is 43 years old, and yes, he does want to continue playing. He signed with the Detroit Tigers 1 year, just a 1-year contract, at $13 million. Well, Verlander started his career with the Detroit Tigers many years ago, 21 as a matter of fact, 21 years ago, and he wants to relive some of that glory. He had a pretty good season with the Giants last year. The guy can still pitch, maybe not as consistently as he once did, but he certainly is capable of coming up with games to win, and the Detroit Tigers have loaded up their pitching staff. That's going to be awfully tough for the Kansas City Royals to overcome, but it's a long season. We'll see what happens.
Definitely is going to be very difficult to overcome, and there's been some good things going on in Motor City, Ned. So, what were the TV ratings for the Super Bowl this year?
We talked about this the other day and talked about this being a possibility. The numbers finally came out late yesterday, and that'll probably be much more in the news today. The Super Bowl peaked. It peaked at 137,800,000 folks watching the game. That was in the second period. Now, keep in mind the nature of this game. Very defense-oriented, not a lot of scoring, a lot of tackling. And then we come to halftime, and those ratings dipped considerably in the second half to just under 125 million. That's still a pretty good number, but it is not record-breaking by any stretch of the imagination. And to have about, let's see, what would that be? A $13 million individual, I should say, drop in the viewers. That's a considerable amount. So what I think it indicates is that the true hardcore football fans will stay with the game, but those who are just fringe fans, which most individuals are, hey, this is boring, let's get rid of it, and I don't want to see Bad Bunny or whatever the case might be. But it's about 3 million viewers less than last year's Eagles-Chiefs game. So the record, and that was the most watched event ever. So, indeed, we're not there at the record in this one, but it's still a pretty good audience, and I think NBC is most pleased because they got all their money.
You know what's crazy? Is that halftime show actually did break a record. So there were more people watching that halftime show before or after. So normally when they have a halftime show, a lot of people tune out. This time they didn't, and there were more people that came to watch it than they actually came to watch the game.
It still represents a 13 million viewer drop from what the top was in the second period. Now, they may have stayed around.
I'm talking about game versus halftime.
Hold on. I'm talking about the entire telecast that may have dipped after halftime. I'm not saying they didn't stay around, but it may have dipped after that. The fact of the matter is it still had pretty good ratings.
Yeah, for sure. But like I said, I think it's interesting and funny that more people tuned in for the halftime show than they did for the actual game. So we had a little bit of some early baseball yesterday.
Very big win for Drury University. They've only played 4 games this year, but they haven't lost yet. And yesterday's game was against the number 2 ranked Division II team in America, and Central Missouri from Warrensburg is annually there. They're going for a national title. Maybe not literally getting through to the national title game, but going through that and in the competition virtually every year. So Central Missouri came down here to play yesterday, and Drury wins the game. Now, you take a look at the stats, and you say, well, how in the world did Drury ever win this one? Final score was Drury 9, Central Missouri 7. But Central Missouri out-hit Drury 14-8. Boy, that's a massive difference. You mean to tell me they had 14 hits and lost the game? That's right, because Central Missouri left 10 runners on base. Can't win doing that. And a freshman catcher for Drury, a kid named Xander Schmidt from up at Wildwood in the St. Louis area, had 5 RBIs in the game. That's a nice win for Drury. They're a good team. Scott Nasby has a very good unit out there, and they're playing well. Now, they have some other big games coming up. I believe they play Central Oklahoma in their next one, but a 9-7 win over Central Missouri is significant.
Do you think we finally come to the point where everyone's agreed that we may have too many bowl games?
Bowl games? I can positively assure you that is the case. I won't say they're dropping like flies, but they are dropping. We've had 2 since the start of the new year. One was the L.A. Bowl out in California at SoFi Stadium. They said, hey, the heck with this. It does not accomplishing anymore. And last night, the Motor City Bowl in Detroit went belly up and said, no, I don't think we can continue with this. They've been around since 1997. It annually, the collision in this one between the teams was usually of the Mid-America Conference and people like that. And there was some interest, but they are ceasing operations in the Motor City Bowl, which has been around since 1997. More could follow. Why are these bowl games dropping like that? Because the interest simply isn't there. The playoffs have taken away from that level of interest. I think the individuals who put together the playoff scheme thought this might happen. Well, they thought correctly, because it is. We'll see what else follows suit. But some of these bowl games that we've heard about and kind of criticized in a way, they're on the way out.
Yeah, I think it's starting to swing in the opposite direction, Ned. Speaking of which, have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.